right, moving it on, we have the New Orleans Saints without Drew Brees now that he's injured. Bovada is giving 4.5 at Seattle. Brad and I are both on Seattle in this one. No offense to Teddy Bridgewater, who I think is pretty good, but what's going to end up happening here, in my opinion, is that New Orleans is going to try to refocus and try to make this kind of like a run-first team, like we saw when they had Ingram and Kamara a couple of years ago, and both like went well over 1,000 yards. I think both had like 15 touchdowns or something like that. I think that's what New Orleans is going to try to do. Seattle has a strong run defense. They're going to make Bridgewater beat them. They're going to try to shut down Michael Thomas. So this is a game where Kamara screens, Jared Cook, short routes. Is that enough to beat Russell Wilson at home by 5? I don't, or at least lose by less than 5. I don't think so. So we like Seattle this week. It's one of my more favorite bets. Seattle going back at home, and they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good from daily fantasy point of view. I'm taking Bridgewater off my board this week. I just don't like what I'm seeing there. Kamara, I think because of volume, because of receptions, will have a nice game. But again, in terms of daily fantasy, I wouldn't buy him. But fantasy football is definitely worth a start. As is Michael Thomas, even though I don't have him at a super high projection. I think that Seattle will try to bottle him up and make Kamara and Jared Cook and Traquan Smith and whoever else is playing receiver, Ted Ginn. I know those guys are banged up, but if they get Kirkwood is also banged up. They have a lot of injuries in New Orleans. They're banged up. It's going to be a tough one for them, so that's why I'm on Seattle. But Michael Thomas, I think you can play every single week, and yeah, man, not really seeing a lot else. Now, on Seattle, I like Russell Wilson this week, considering how much Deshaun Watson will cost. A guy like Russell Wilson, I know his budget is increasing with his performance. He could do quite well. Carson, assuming he plays, I think he's going to have a nice week at a 14. Tyler Lockett, I think, will have a nice week. DK Metcalf will continue his progression as well. And you have to pay attention to Will Dissly, who seems to find the end zone whenever he's playing. He's just, Russell Wilson looks from around the goal line. He's somebody that's going to be a nice value buy. So I might actually this week, spend money elsewhere, and I'll probably start Olsen at tight end in Carolina, and then flex out Will Dissly, and then like I said, spend to my heart's content in other positions.